This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, point is verse 31. And it reads, Hebrews 10 and 31, and it reads, it is a fearful thing. Let's start up. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 26, for if we sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins, but a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries. Verse 28, he that despiseth Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Of how much sorer punishment, suppose ye, shall he be thought worthy, who have trodden under foot the Son of the Most High, and have counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing, and have done despite unto the Spirit of grace. Verse 30, for we know him that have said, vengeance belongeth unto me, I will recompense, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And again, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai shall judge his people. Verse 31, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. I want to start off by giving all praise. I want to give all honor. I want to give all glory to call Loyim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Hakodash, double honors to the elders, to the apostles that I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua that they're listening and learning, Lord willingly. This is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. Brother Yahweh Sab coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit, through the power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai. Yahweh meaning he is, he exists, or he to be. By Hashem, by his end, Haz the Hashem his name. Yahushai meaning he saves or he deliverer. True names of the Most High God and his Son, who these people ignorantly call God and Jesus Christ, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai. This lesson is inspired by art. I saw the video earlier. Now it's all kind of articles, and this is a hot topic, and it's spiritual in a lot of ways, because again, they about to come down with great wrath on Jake. They painting this picture of Jake just undesirable, Jake just the wicked, Jake is just evil, Jake is unstable, Jake is this, Jake is that. When you pay attention to what's all being promoted in the news, it's got something to do with a 2/3 ass nigga. And the thing is, they're gonna try to lump the truth off with all their propaganda, which is all the will of the Lord at the end of the day anyway. The scriptures talk about in Romans chapter 8, verse 23, so like 8 and verse 28, it says, all things work to the good for those that love him. So, and I'm speaking to myself first and foremost because, again, patience is a hell of a thing. That's when, I got a family member. I was listening to the elder talk about, having love for your brother, and, but then there's a greater love for your father. And, just like we worship Yahweh Shah, but we worship him because, he's to be worshiped. The scriptures tell you that. But at the same time, we reverence the Father as well. The Father is the, pretty much we so show you how the Father got to be glorified. We need Yahweh Shah just to be the mediator. We need him to be the go-between. Like the movie The Godfather. You couldn't just talk to the Godfather. That's the powerful part about Esther. I remember it's just spiritual how like certain things connect at certain times. Everything happened for a reason. But I was listening to what the elder said, and the thing is this. My brother a nigga, you know what I mean? And I might speak on him because, the things that he was telling me I wasn't like taking heed to, It's funny because I went through that in the truth, trying to give knowledge and game to Jake, and Jake wasn't listening. And, an elder brother said that too. He was like, the younger brothers never listen to the older brothers. And I'm sure Jake going through that right now. But what they say, scripture is scriptural. It say, when words can't teach, adversity will. anyhow, I ain't about to try to ramble. A lot of spiritual stuff going on, and judgment is all in the air. And I'm going to get out the scripture, and then I'm going to bring the video. I was going to read the article, but I probably won't even do that. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 9, and I'm going to start at... Start at verse 1. It says, to the chief musician upon Muth Laban bin, a psalm of David. Muth Labin, a psalm of David. I will praise thee, O Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua, with my whole heart. I will show forth all thy marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in thee. I will sing praise to thy name, O thou most high. And you know what's so deep? Because I was thinking about it, I was like, damn, I know I probably ain't praying enough, but I was listening to that Young Thug, and I don't know why I keep speaking on him. It's like entertaining. It's entertaining because the Lord bringing forth judgment to these niggas, but at the same time, fuck the gossip shit, showing you how weak these niggas is, because this platform shit, niggas that's supposed to be solid as real street niggas, I grew up, a nigga said silent night, what's understood don't need to be explained, and I do it sometimes, but these niggas is up there just literally just gossiping and then wondering why, it's funny because the elder brother was just saying that, like, you wonder why the left hand, that's in the scriptures. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing. Roughly paraphrased along the lines of that. And my brother used to quote that all the time. It was a point I was making with the whole little Young Thug shit, but like it's so much little like shit going on in the media, which is entertainment, but it's distraction as well. While they got all that shit going on, it's so many like operations they carrying out. They attacking the Mexican cartels and shit. Like, it's a whole bunch of shit going on. They gonna say peace and safety, and then sudden destruction gonna come upon them. These people is gonna be cut unawares. But that's the point I was coming with, because I was listening to Young Thug was locked up for damn near 3 years, right? Yeah, he got locked up, I think, in May of 2022. It's September of 25. He was locked up for 3 years. He said he prayed for 3 years. Now, he wasn't praying to Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua. He was praying to Satan. But nonetheless, he probably did more prayers than me. And that cut the shit out of me. I was like, damn, I got to do better. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's scary. A nigga, even though he worshiping Satan, and he probably really think that that's the scary part about the Lord. The Lord will have your ass deceive, and the deceiver of both he is. I think it's so much theater with the shit. It's like you want to wonder if they like literally paid to go do the shit. 1 minute they saying one thing, again, it's scripture. I mean, not the scriptures. I think it was William Shakespeare made the statement. He said the world is a stage and the people are all actors in it, roughly paraphrased. Says, when my enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence. For thou hast maintained my right in my cause. Thou sattest in the throne judging right. Thou sattest in the throne judging right. And the Lord is judging right now. The scriptures talk about many great miseries shall be done in the latter time, because they walked with great pride, roughly paraphrased. When you seeing judgments, but we ain't even seen the what's the word? Apex is like the ultimate. Can't think of it's escaping me right now, but basically we ain't even seen the peak of judgment. We ain't even seen, judgment. The peak of judgment is when, like, you read Psalms 91. Thousands down at my side and 10,000 at my right hand, roughly paraphrased. I probably butchered it, but when you seeing people just dead, like, I got this zombie game, and I know grown men don't play games, but at the same time, I want to hear something funny? Not to, deviate from the topic, Satan busy, but Literally, I remember a brother gifted me with a video game system, and the brother gifted me with the system, and the shit didn't even work. And I'm looking at him like, what kind of goofy shit is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I wouldn't spend the money because it was still like a gift, right? And I appreciate him for doing that because, he didn't have to do that. Jake, I ain't gonna say, oh, Jake think like that, but you know what I mean? Like, for whatever reason, the spirit jumped on that brother to give me that. And I think about all the hard times and shit I'm catching hell through right now. And the thing is this, if I didn't have something to occupy my mind, the scriptures occupy it, and then Satan still, it's truly a battle for the mind. But I can go play that game after doing a video or a lesson or, reading a little bit and literally really escape what I'm catching hell on, Again, when I'm like, when things move in a certain kind of direction, I don't even get to watch TV like that. But when you got, idle hands is a hell of a thing. It's a movie called Idle Hands. I think it starred the guy that played on that Eminem video, Stan. Is pretty much a slothful individual. And that's representing you being in this knowledge and this truth and not working. You being idle. And that's spiritual. It says, I read verse 4, verse 5, thou hast rebuked the heathen, thou hast destroyed the wicked, thou hast put out their name forever and ever. O thou enemy, destructions are come to a perpetual end, and thou hast destroyed cities, their memorials perish with them. And that's going into Sodom and Gomorrah, That's funny because I've been speaking on Sodom and Gomorrah for like the last couple of days because of what was being practiced in Sodom and Gomorrah. And we living in the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah right now. Because, you had sodomy, the act of sodomy being perpetuated, Verse 7, but the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshua shall endure forever. He hath prepared his throne for judgment. Scriptures talk about the Lord is angry with the wicked every day. And the Lord love of judgment. I think that's like Psalms 37. The Most High God love of judgment. Yeah. Scriptures talk about pretty much the wicked don't understand judgment. The Lord Yahweh shall endure, but the Lord Yahweh shall endure forever. He hath prepared his throne for judgment, and he shall judge the world in righteousness. He shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness. Being morally upright, he's gonna deal judgments based on the scriptures. Being perfect, morally upright. The wicked's judgment be where is that at? I forget what scripture. It's like the churl, Churl. Their judgment is not. The wicked will judge you. Like say again, literally. You got individuals that have actually committed sins unto death, but literally have been given passes. Like I just recently found out about Charleston White. Charleston White is in love with his oppressor because he feels they saved him. So he worships Edomite Jesus, and Edomite Jesus allows you to keep on sinning. You know what I'm saying? That's why you can't tell him nothing. Oh yeah, I heard it out the horse's mouth, and that's the scriptures talk about their tongue shall fall upon themselves. The scriptures talk about their own tongues shall convict them. Roughly paraphrased. So what are you gonna be able to say? I laugh at him in a lot of ways because in his mind he's thinking he all for his people, but he'll tell you he'll fuck your daughter. He's not gonna school your daughter. He'll school his daughter, but he gonna fuck your daughter. And I've seen Jake think like that. You know what I mean? They at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is, the Lord got it set up for, if you can't deal with that, I remember Jake laughing at it though. And I was thinking about it like, would you be laughing if I was talking about fucking your daughter? See, the truth make you gotta have some thick ass skin, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I'm a little ghetto boy, right? So I've seen and had to deal with a lot of little bullshit, right? So I got thicker skin than what you think, but I'm just saying though, remember to keep the same energy when the shit apply to you. But the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua shall endure forever. He hath prepared his throne for judgment, and he shall judge the world in righteousness. He shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. But the point was, the Lord is going to be judging, and we about to see a lot of judgment. Fair use. I'm not profiting off of this. I'm just lining up what's being played in the video with scriptures. Lord willing, is edifying.
New surveillance footage. It shows the moments leading up to and following a senseless random attack on the light rail in Charlotte. So you can actually see the victim, a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee, sat right in front of the suspect, the man in the red hoodie identified as DeCarlos Brown. He then attacked her from behind for no reason, but we won't show the actual stabbing. So medical professionals pronounced her dead at the scene. Brown removed his hoodie, then exited the train. Authorities arrested him.
Gotta question that. Why did you remove your hoodie? You know what I'm saying? So again, I don't know. It's again, that happened. You got the whole situation with Ukraine and Russia, and then this dude randomly do this. And then I believe they said that he pretty much was arrested, but then they released him. So, again, a lot of shit don't be adding up. You know what I mean? I can't even literally get into an argument with the bitch, but but this nigga can just go just stab a motherfucker to death and get out. So yeah, Satan is in the midst of a lot of shit. So that's why the scriptures talk about working around being circumspect. Staying prayed up. Particular brother always talks about that. The elder brother, the elder apostle, the beloved elder apostle talks about keep your medicine strong. Because our medicine is these prayers. Again, I was really just meditating on that. I said, damn, this demon out of here nigga was praying. Let me out of here, Lord. He was praying and gossiping, though. For 3 years. Oh, my God, that's crazy. Yeah, because a nigga that ain't used to having to sit his ass down, I used to wonder, but I see why my father didn't really spoil me. And I call myself spoiling myself, so that's why I got a certain mindset. But, I see why, what I mean? Like, motherfucker just think that they just can just do whatever the fuck. They just are chosen, huh? You don't even know if you're the chosen. You were called. You don't know if you got it. You know what I'm saying? But I was just thinking about a particular brother. Again, oh shit. It's time to fear. Or don't.
They believe he and the victim did not know each other. So I want to go live now to Anna Schechter, CBS News senior coordinating producer for our crime and public safety unit. Quite some video to look at there. Something that stands out here is Brown's record. We're talking about 16 arrests prior to this one. So do we know if he was on a police watch list?
Well, he certainly had served time.
Yeah, certain individuals that, that's why they saying that they're going to deport certain individuals that's considered as, dangerous. Like they man, this motherfucker, the Lord got some cold shit about to come down the pipeline. Again, I keep on saying listen, they just did a sweep in Ohio. I'm not just talking about the city of Cleveland, but like throughout Ohio, and they talking about fugitives, motherfuckers that's on the run. So they utilizing the technology. I was gonna do a video on it, but they said they just rounded. I forgot the name of the operation. Operation something though. So yeah, it's a lot going on. Keep your head on the swivel.
He'd been in and out of prison. There was a 2014 incident of aggravated assault and robbery that he served several years for. So when it comes to a police watch list, not necessarily, but certainly he had a known criminal record. But it raises the question: he was not serving. He was not serving any time or under probation at the moment of this crime. So it raises the question about how law enforcement handles people who were struggling with mental health. There was a documented.
And again, it's spiritual. Who's to say what really is going on? Because again, you in the devil's playground. Scriptures talk about spirits created for vengeance. But again, I'm taking the time to think about the whole fact that this was like, think about this. This is a a person from another nation. So watch how much comes out of this, though. Just watch this. I'm saying, keep your eyes on this. And again, who they painting the boogeyman, the bad guy? Jake. Scriptures talk about persecutions. You know, you got Jake that literally, you know, the scriptures talk about being a new creature. So, yeah, you might have done certain things in the world, and they going to try to utilize and use. I mean, come on, I've seen some shit in this truth. A lot took place right after I left the camp, and I'm like, damn, well, this little weird shit going on. They doing all this extra shit, and I could listen. I grew up around some niggas that, yeah. So they like I see police activity when police activity, like, nigga, why y'all doing that? Why you think I was able to spot vocab in them shit? I'm like, this is weird. What is y'all just watching us for? It's two black people, it's two Jakes, and it's like two hunkies. I'm like, two Edomites. I'm like, what the fuck kind of weird shit is this? Right? Just stare right at us. Not even trying to be sly or what's the word? I'm a butcher it. Incognito.
Instance. In fact, his mother had actually called and raised a red flag after he got out of prison after that 2015 incident, the 2015 time served. So just a really challenging situation. Does law enforcement lock someone up because they have a criminal history, because there's documented mental health? It's a big question, and policy makers and
so look at the stage they setting. If you got a history of offenses, although you might not be doing anything now, if you got a history of you used to, you know, the devil is a liar, man. So if you got a history of doing some shit, but you might be working a job now, you might not even, you know, they're going to use that as basis to come, you know, again, they just grabbed like 150 motherfuckers. Now, where are you going? Our county jail is overpopulated. Facts. It's understaffed and overpopulated. So where they going to go?
law enforcement have been struggling with how to answer that question, and it's a bigger question for our society. Certainly, law enforcement didn't think that there was any reason to.
This bitch looked like a dude. She looked like. She looked like, I was just playing this video game with the zombies. She looked like one of them little motherfuckers, or maybe my brain just fried off of the zombie shit. She looked like one of the, because a lot of them was Edomites. I ain't see one Jake zombie on that bitch.
I believe he would carry out this senseless, random act of violence in the way he did, resulting in this horrific death of this Ukrainian refugee.
You know, we're at a time of easily accessible crime video. So let's talk about perception. So right now, there's a debate around the country just how much violent crime is actually happening. Can you help us kind of connect perception to reality? And
I was going to actually like end it right there because they're not really talking about nothing. But I listened to what they said. They letting you know it's a lot of violence in the earth right now. Scriptures tell you in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, in the last days, perilous times shall basically come. You know, when you go to that word perilous, it's kalapas, meaning dangerous, fierce. You know, it's dangerous, perilous times. She was just chilling. And again, you could be like, certain shit fake, because certain shit is fake. That wasn't fake. You saw motherfuckers taking up, and nobody tried to stop him or nothing. You know, I'm always amazed at that. You know, like certain people, you know, because it'd be a spirit. Again, I can't think of the name of it. I used to always quote the name of this movie, but it was a movie with Matthew McConaughey. And that's a good-ass movie, too. I think I told the brothers about it, but basically, he was a death angel by the Lord. You know, that's a good-ass movie. I can't think of the name of it, but he was a death angel. And they thought he was crazy, like a serial killer, but he wasn't a serial killer. The Lord had him taken out. Basically, the Lord had him hitting demons. He had him killing certain people that was wicked. And he was like, basically, not to tell the movie, but I'm going to tell this part. His father killed his son, which was his older brother. And he, when you watch the movie, you're like, damn, he just went crazy because the father was crazy, but the father ended up dying. And then basically he ended up taking up the mantle of the father. And he explained it to him, like, at the end, like, the reason why I never thought my father was crazy, because he was like, I could see the demons too. And whenever he was going to go take somebody out, it might be a camera or something. The camera blank him out. It'll blur out his, like, it was like the Lord was literally dealing with him to take motherfuckers out. He was a death angel.
Specifically in North Carolina?
It's a great question. And, we in this country, we've been conducting surveys for many years, asking people how they feel about crime and consistency.
That's crazy, because they mentioned North Carolina, and my old Eve/demon, she went to North Carolina. She moved to North Carolina. And I'm like, you got to be the goofiest bitch in the world for you to move out there, because you don't even get along with the person you're moving with, but at the same time, you don't even have family out there. You're just going out there because, like, motherfuckers just really don't understand the world is really a ghetto. Certain places I thought, you think Florida is just Miami Vice and nice looking women. Now, I will say this about Florida: them women aggressive. I say that I could have got some pussy homeless, and she was a bad chick too, bad Edomite. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. They aggressive. And me and the Edomite dude was talking about it. We both sitting drinking on the pier because we both homeless, and we just sit up there. And he was like, man, he had a chick sit up there and try to blow down on him. He was like, yeah, she was aggressive. He was like, he went to the hospital, and I was out there. My demon went to the store. I'm sitting out there with our stuff, waiting, because we waiting for it to get dark. And then the chick pull up on me like, yeah, you want to get this room and all that? I say, huh? I say, oh yeah, I'm thinking she about to show you how naive and goofy I was. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm waiting on my girl. She like, your girl. She like, oh, I am so sorry. And I didn't catch it at first, but then when me and him talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, because we both wasn't from there. Yeah, they aggressive down there. Like they say, Ohio women or Cleveland women is bougie. They more bougie than what they more bougie than bad. You got bad women here. You got bad women everywhere. But, you got certain women that actually, like, take care of you type shit. Like, not take care of you, because I don't need a woman to take care of me. But what I'm saying is, like, literally try to do the woman thing. You got women trying to compete with me. And they did. Well, let's see how that go with the niggas coming in the door. I tell a bitch, go fight. It says, you so tough, go fight them. Let me run up out the house with the kids. How about that? That's why it's a lucky ratting out, got a little extra aura on me.
Every single time, people generally feel like crime is worse than the statistics actually show. And if you talk to think tanks that are right-leaning and left-leaning, they're going to say the same things. So that's sort of the historic perspective. Violent crime is significantly down from its height in the 90s, and that goes for North Carolina.
Oh, so they trying to say that the crime is down. Bullshit. You ever see that commercial? Bullshit. But again, this is Medusa. This is media. This is the god of illusion. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, your eyes could tell you that crime is up. Shit. They just said, like, what was that? Just over the holiday? Well, fucking, I think how many people got shot in Chicago? Like 60 motherfuckers? I mean, again, crime is down in Washington, D.C. But crime is up in other areas as well. But, again.
As well. But if you put the United States in a global context, you are much more likely to be a victim of a violent crime here in this country when compared to other high-income countries.
Hey, that's the spirit. So it goes back to what I was saying from the get-go.
So when Donald Trump talks about crime and he sort of taps into this politics of fear, he's striking a chord.
That's the funny thing about being in they circle, because you got to have some thick skin with that shit too. Because just like you get publicity and promote it from the left-hand side to do your wickedness, they'll shit on you too. You know, that's why them motherfuckers turn gray within them 4 years. They be all the way gray. Because, nigga, you stressed the fuck out. So, I mean, again, the whole point was the spirits out here. And, you know, that was a cold judgment by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. I got a few scriptures. I don't know how many of them I'm going to read. But, you know, ultimately going into fear of the Most High. This is the book of Malachi, chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 6 I'm going to start at verse 6 and it reads, a son honoreth his father and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where's mine honor? So, Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, he that is or he that exists is our father, you know. Our big brother is Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, you know. And they're both to be reverenced and praised, but of course we're supposed to, you know, reverence our Heavenly Father more. Again, I speak on my brother, but again, my brother a nigga. He ain't glorifying no Yahweh Shem Yahushua, so that nigga gonna die. The fuck? All of us I can say all of us, because, you know, I call myself a servant of the Heavenly Father, but at the same time, you know, am I really truly serving him? Only Yahweh Shem Yahushua knows. You know. And right now, we all should be in fear because, again, when I think about that, just imagine, you know what I mean? That's a great thing. You consider yourself blessed to be able to drive and not have to get on the subway, having to put your, you know, like when I get on the subway, I always usually go to the back anyway, you know, or on a bus, I get on the back of it. You know, we know about the Rosa Parks days, but shit, I felt comfort in that because, you know, I don't like a person behind me. That's just some shit I took from the world, and, you know, it's a practice that you should keep. You know, be aware of your surroundings. It says, and if I be a master, where's my fear? You know, and people forgot the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua of hosts unto you, O priests that despise my name, and ye say, wherein have we despise thy name? You know, and again, you got scriptures talk about how it's going to be individuals talk about, Lord, didn't I prophesy in your name? But you really you really despise the Lord. You know, you can't be halfway in this thing or partly in this thing. You got to be all the way in this thing. It's a thing of ours, you know, because again, this is a thing of ours because it's not a thing of the world. Everybody ain't calling on the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. I remember the elder brother said that. As much as I was a headache in, I guess, their eyes, you know, at the end of the day, they said it's not many laborers though. But I could also tell he was the Lord had his spirit so grateful to get rid of me. I'll never forget that. I'm not saying up there, I'm not like dwelling on it. I'm just thinking, like, you know, I'm in remembrance of it. You know, and I sit back and I think about it. I was like, damn, was I that much, you know? But the thing is, I was a problem child to my daddy too. I'll never forget my daddy. I remember when I became grown, my daddy sent me, he had a folder of all my disciplinary actions the schools gave. And then I look back at it now, I'm like, well, ain't that funny though? The Lord got a hell of a sense of humor. The book of Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 22, and it reads, how long, ye simple ones, you know, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians, God's true chosen people, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? Because you being simple because you refuse to hearken and come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. It says, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. This is the true knowledge, the wisdom and knowledge, and the understanding of these scriptures. Because, I'm gonna say something. I always had asked questions like, why is this? Why is that? Why is this? And then, only thing that filled that void of, not having any understanding was the truth. And the thing is, I'm sure it's certain breakdowns that, the elders was not gonna give out, and that's not for everybody to know. Like, it's levels. But again, my point of bringing that up is because at the end of the day, what I don't know on this side, I could wait to figure out in the kingdom. The biggest thing that really, I remember the elder speaking on that. The particular elder was like, we stronger than them, so how's they on top? It's questions like that. I had those same questions. Like, when you look at football, I'm looking at football, we treat it like this in reality, but then you watching TV and you watching this Jake, dominate these motherfuckers. You like, well, damn, hold up. You watching Jake. I'm a Tyson era, Negro. Well, I would like to say the word Negro. I say a nigga before a Negro, but I'm a Tyson era, Jake. Literally, I watch Tyson dominate shit. And, I listened to a lot of people speak on, they was mad at Tyson. Even Khalid said that. He said, shit, we waited all this time. He say, shit, my father let me not go to school, call up. He say I go to the bathroom, come back, and the fight over. That's how Tyson was knocking motherfuckers out, man. Like, Tyson was like something. And the thing is this, I can say this, Tyson is a humble dude. Because with that time, because they instill pride in them. Cuss used to tell him, you the greatest. And when I was watching him telling him, because they had footage of him telling him, and Tyson would tell him about how Cuss was always telling him, you so great, you the most best, you the powerful. That, like, the affirmations. And I was like, damn, that's like witchcraft, that's spiritual. But it is spiritual. And it's hard for him to probably, like, that's a humble dude. Because he really was great at something. When I take time to think about it, like, yeah, I've accomplished a lot of stuff that Jake wouldn't even probably know. Like, a lot of shit was easy to me. I told you I was going to school or drugs, you know what I mean? Like, and passing. Like, don't even know how the fuck I did that shit. I'm like, you just got to be letting they say you show up to school and they just pass you. No, I was like, literally like, and now I feel like such a fucking fool. Memory shot to shit. It's a fearful thing to fall on the heads of the living power, for real. These earthly tabernacles, not taking care of them. It's a lot. It's a lot cut with this truth. Salakia says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit onto you. I will make known my words unto you. And that's why this truth is resonating through the four corners of the earth. Jake, I mean, again, I ain't even in the cap, but I see, brothers is in the spirit. Rather be like, these lessons go out. And the thing is this, you would think, like, with the algorithm, I might listen to a brother video and then they might send a Christian's channel up there, or that one dude that the elders was going in, or that, I don't know his name. The Jake, though. That basically he coming against, Israel. But the thing is, you would think they'd throw an IUIC video or ISUBK, but no, it's always like a Christian, or I've had all kind of, I had young pharaoh, some shit like that. I've had, some Egyptology shit pop up before another Israelite group video pop up, showing you how they really regulate the internet to try to keep us from the truth. That's how you know this is the truth. Because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regardeth, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. Verse 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And how is he going to laugh and mock? Through his servants, the prophets. The scriptures tell you in the book of Amos chapter 3 and verse 7, surely the Most High will reveal his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So, the Most High, though you're a peon, you're a peasant, we are as worms, so the Lord literally, he's not going to come down here personally. Now, don't get me wrong, I believe to certain spirits the Lord will visit, or he pours a heavier spirit, or he interacts with in a different type of way. But the point is, these people, they expected the Lord to do a miracle for you. The Lord doing a miracle right now by just even like trying to bring back a dead nation, because our people fucked up, and I understand why the Lord can't save everybody. Them videos, what I'm seeing, the dudes talking about, I've already knew all this shit about them being into the Aleister Crowley, the alphabet community type of spirit. But at the same time, it's like, that young Jake, that shit still is on my mind. Like, this nigga literally has no problems. Like, that's a heavy ass demon on that dude. And that's a fearful thing, like I said again. And the thing is, it ain't just on him. What's that movie? It was a comedy with Kevin Hart, Rihanna, both had like a little cameos in it. It had the one dude, Seth Rogen, and they little crew. But pretty much, it was the end of the world. And it had the one dude that played on, what's that dude name? He played as Gambit in the last Deadpool and Wolverine. He played as Gambit. I can't think of his name. He played at 21 Jump Street. Then they remade 21 Jump Street. He played with Noah Hill. I can't think of dude's name. But that was a funny ass little movie. I think this is it. No, it's something, but basically it was the end of the world. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord Yahweh Shah. And that's why it's so important to fear Yahweh Shah. It tells you in Proverbs chapter 1 that beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. A healthy dose of fear for the Lord will actually preserve you throughout these times. Because again, you didn't create yourself. We are nothing. I'm gonna end it with Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Again, I just been thinking about that in my head all day. You could be at work and a spirit jump on somebody. Because I was thinking like that. Like, this Huggy was fucking with me so bad. I'm like, man, if we get into a fist fight, who's to say it's just gonna leave? You got to be disciplined just to keep using your heads. It's talking about boys and men, but out of anger, anything can happen. A motherfucker could be so angry he could beat you to death with his head. But what I'm saying is, literally, like, you get to fight, like, man, like anything, like, motherfucker don't even realize they did the shit, and then your life is all changed. I knew a dude. We used to have this goofy ass game. It was called the knockout game. So motherfuckers would be walking home from school, and the point of the game was to try to knock a motherfucker out. And if you don't knock him out, you got to get that. You got to get that. But the thing, we didn't play it. I didn't play it. That was some shit that niggas, the Jakes that was older than me was playing. But I think they stopped playing it because one of the dudes we grew up with, he basically hit a dude, and he was lightweight slow. He hit him and knocked him out, and he died. And he did like some goofy ass Buck Rogers type time. Came home, and I'll never forget him. My peoples knew the dude, and then because again I had a very popular family member, so everybody would try to get close to my peoples. If he wasn't fucking with you directly, they'll try to get cool with me. Nigga shit. A nigga try to befriend me to get cool with him. You know what I mean? Chess move type shit. But I was just like, damn, that dude did like damn near 20 years. I knew dudes did 20 years and come home and like it's still like just so. You know how much shit is different than 20 years? The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13, the point, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man, and this is the whole duty for an Israelite man. The heathen, they don't have to keep the law, statutes, commandments, because, again, this ain't for them. At the end of the day, we're going to put them under subjection of the law, but at the same time, the law is not going to save them. They don't have an inheritance in the kingdom. Yeah, they going to have to, worship and actually pretty much partake in following the law, statutes, commandments, because they could be under our rulership. But at the same time, no, they could try to follow all the laws, statutes, commandments till they fall out and die, or until they what I mean, like, at the end of the day, that don't matter, because again, salvation wasn't given to you. What was that in John chapter 4? Salvation is for the Jews, or for Israel. Verse 14, for the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be good or whether it be evil. So yeah, ultimately the Lord is about to bring major judgments upon these heathen, as well as Jake and everybody that's living in Babylon, all these Babylonians, everybody that refused to hearken to the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. I didn't mean for this to go that long. Sometimes I'll be rambling. I'm about to get into the spirit of doing, like, the most I'm going is 20 minutes. That's my new little thing. I watch a brother do that, and I know I can do it. It's just, a lot of times I'm doing 12 different things and not paying attention, but I'm about to try to make them more concise, Lord willingly. So, Lord willingly, this was edifying. If you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, commandments of your power, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushua, you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Elohim La Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushua, B'Shem Hakodash, double honors to the elders, to the apostles that I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Double so that ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aquat that they're listening, learning, Lord willingly. This was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad, and the land of other nations appearing like the other nations, but subscribe to the truth. To you I say shalom. Till next time, Lord willingly. Shalom, shalom. Say Kwam Yasharala and Mawath Lababal. Shalom. 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 DTA. So